Hello, everybody. Perez Hilton here, joined by Celebrity Big Brother winner Marissa Jaret Winokur, friend of mine. And I got to start off by saying we need to update your social media profiles.
Oh my! I do.
Because it just says
it's like
house guest, housemate.
I needed to say winner. Oh my God! Listen, yes. You are my social media guru, so I listen to everything. He's my fairy godmother, is what I always say.
I love to help my friends, yes. and I give unsolicited advice.
No, but it's good. I need it. I actually need the advice. I'm very bad with social media. Today, I actually read my husband's big, the HOH letter that I would have gotten when I became HOH. So I read it on my Instagram live.
Oh,
and I had
that.
so many views. I was like, oh wait, people are turning on my Instagram.
The Instagram live, the Facebook live. You got to do it all.
I'm so old that I don't know how anything works.
All right, well, let's start off with the here and now.
Okay.
But yesterday, to be specific, I saw you on social media.
Yes.
You looked a little emotional.
I haven't got a hard time.
How are you?
I miss everybody. The day right when we got out, they said, if you got out, would you ever go back in? I was like, absolutely not. And then yesterday I was like, maybe I'd go back in. This is hard. Life is hard when you come out.
Well, tell me about it. Well, the surprising thing, and I said this to Ari Baby when I spoke to her yesterday.
Hi, baby.
If you haven't seen that video, check it out. It's somewhere over there.
She's the best. It's so much more exciting than this.
Her.
Go check out Ari. She's a bigger star.
I told her that, for the most part, everybody in your house got along.
Yeah.
When I did Celebrity Big Brother in the UK, everybody in that house hated each other. It was
horrible.
Non-stop fights. I mean, the most fighting you guys had was Brandy and James.
Brandy got mad at me, but who cares?
I saw she
checked me out of the bathroom. She got so mad at me.
She accused you of you accused her of screaming at you.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't scream at you.
No, I did say.
I watched everything.
Okay, but I will say, in the screaming situation, I did say she yelled at me, and then I did give her the next day because she was like, I don't think I really yelled at you, and I was like, you know what? And fair enough, you probably didn't, but it felt like.
I felt like.
I felt like you were yelling at me. I felt her aggression. My husband's never raised my voice. I don't have friends that I get into disagreements with or have aggression with.
That was one of my favorite clips, though.
Did they show that on CBS?
No,
I never know.
The live
okay.
feeds.
And you saw that I was like, maybe we're both remembering it in our own ways.
No, but I love that you stood your ground.
Yeah, but
and you're not listening to me. This is what it felt like to me.
Oh God, I'm the worst girlfriend ever. I felt like you were being, but it didn't. It felt like she was being aggressive and yelling at me. And even though she wasn't, because now I've seen it back too, and I was like, oh, she wasn't really yelling. Everything's so tense. You feel so stressed out.
I mean,
I look like Annie right now.
Did you have? Can we be 100% honest?
Yeah.
Here? Okay.
Obviously.
When it came okay, here's what.
Okay. There's so much to talk about. Listen, I haven't talked to you since I got out, so I actually feel like I have all of that too.
I know. So you and I talked about Celebrity Big Brother before you went in.
Yes, but I didn't tell you I was doing it.
No, you did not.
But I look
and
crazy.
That's the right thing to do.
Right.
When I did the UK show, I didn't tell anybody I was doing it either.
Right.
I just ghosted.
Right.
But I think...
But I didn't ghost. I just talked to you about Celebrity Big Brother nonstop.
No, well, we talked about the UK one, right? And I gave you some tips and pointers.
You did.
I said if I would have done it again, I would have gone in there with pills, sleeping medication.
And I did. I did, of
Good
course I did. Because I was like, I'm never going to sleep. No, granted.
So smart.
I'm
glad you listened to me.
I did. Because
every night you're like, can I have my pill?
I was like, Big Brother. Literally, I'm like, hey, Big Brother, it's time for my medication.
I know.
I didn't care. The whole world could have known. I needed it.
But I was like, what medication? Did she listen to my advice?
I did. Because, I do take medication anyways at nighttime, but
but
really
in that environment, if you don't sleep, you go crazy.
And I didn't, and I only slept 4 hours, but that 4 hours was the most.
I was only sleep 4 hours?
I was so stressed out. I'd lie in bed, I'd go to bed, and I'd be like, okay, who won? Day 1, day 2. And I was just memorizing things because I knew that was the only way I was going to win any competitions. I knew I wasn't going to win a physical. There was no way in hell I would. And I'm not really good at reading. I'm a really bad reader. So I knew if it was a fast reading one, I couldn't catch up. So all I did all day long, I'd lie in bed and count the days. I'd count HOHs. I'd go who fell. I could be literally who fell in the first challenge. And it was Marissa, Meta, Mark, Ross, Chuck, then what's her name? It was like I literally Ari, Keisha, Brandy. Literally that, like, I did it all day long. Brandy, then James and Shannon. Like, I was like all day long. And our Marissa sat out on number 5. She didn't go. Day 13.
And
like,
remembering the length of time.
Oh my God.
How long was
But they didn't even tell us how long. Like, they would just be like, they fell. And you're like, okay, try to remember. That felt about like 10 minutes, even though it felt like
Is there like a clock?
No.
You had to use your own internal clock? Oh
I mean, things were crazy.
God.
And I'd be like, day 13. Everything happened on day 13. You know, like, I would be like, okay. And Omarosa's birthday was on the 5th. And then we would all get screwed up because we started, the first day was the 31st. So February 1st was the second day. Like, it was like...
Well, the first show was several days after you were in the house, too. But the first day, that counts as the first day in the house.
First day was January 31st, but then February 1st would come. So we knew, like, my birthday was on the 2nd. But my birthday on the 2nd meant that was really the 3rd day in the house. And Omarosa's birthday was on the 5th. So that was the 6th day in the house. Like, it was like... the math was like my brain, and then I'd sit up and go and like count the pictures in the walls. Like I was like, how am I going to win this? And then that's what made me win the final HOH, was that I had been studying the whole time.
And
I know.
It paid off.
It paid off.
Let me tell you, people, well, first of all,
I sounded so crazy right then.
You truly are.
Yes, and I didn't tell anybody. I never fessed up to that.
Everybody knew.
No, they knew I was a fan for my son. They didn't know I was. Like, I watched, like, the beginning. Like, I've watched since the beginning, 2000. I mean, I watched from the beginning.
Wow, that's
I
a
didn't
lot
say
of
that.
Big Brother.
Like, I didn't tell anyone that. No, I just said my son and I watched together. Not, we've watched every season, so I've seen some seasons twice.
Well, so people played the game different ways.
Yes.
And people, let me just jump ahead to it. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to just get right to it.
Okay.
It's a freaking TV show.
Yes.
It's a subjective game. Okay? It's
Yes.
not Amazing Race.
No.
Where the first team that crosses the finish line wins.
Right, no.
So there is no wrong or right person to vote for at the end when you're in the jury and deciding who you want to win. Whomever you want to win, that's the person that deserves to win.
Yeah. And since I won, I
deserve to win. Okay.
Like, yes.
Yes.
I mean, like, I get it. Like, I am such a Big Brother fan, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Ross played Big Brother proper. He played like everybody plays, you know, in a good way, like in a great way. He played the best game ever. Like, I was like loving his game. I loved watching his game. I saw what he was doing. I was playing Celebrity Big Brother. Like, people I knew going in, they're going home and watching this. Like, you can't go in the diary room and talk shit about everybody. So, like, I knew not to do that. And I knew, like, you can't, like, also, you're playing with celebrities. We're not, I'm going to be honest, we're not used to being, like, told bad things about ourselves, you know? So, like, keep it light, keep it fun. Like, you look so pretty. I mean, I told people they look pretty every single day. I'm like, oh my God, you look so pretty. Oh my God, you're so cute. Like,
and that was gameplay.
I mean,
smart.
No. I mean, yes.
So, Ross, okay. I need to say this because people don't believe me. I love Ross.
Yes.
Genuinely.
Yes.
Legitimately.
Yes.
I don't love how Ross played the game.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Well,
people loved his game.
I did it.
Okay.
I almost felt like he played too hard. Whereas you played hard. You played your game.
Yeah.
Omarosa almost played smarter than Ross.
Oh, Omarosa played the best game.
She played smart, but she didn't win. And neither did Ross.
Right.
I think if Ross would have played and almost just had more fun and played a little less hard, it may have helped him more. I think. I don't know. But he recently himself said, I'm like Hillary Clinton. I deserved to win, and I didn't win. He said this in a new interview this week.
That's not a good quote.
No.
I mean, like...
You won.
It's also just Big Brother. It's not as important as all the Hillary Clinton, politics, Trump stuff.
Well, and he also still is harping on Shannon Elizabeth voting for you and not him. He's like, that's the most disappointing thing. As a fan of Big Brother, she should have voted for me.
I still would have won.
Oh!
I still would have won. I did 6-3. I didn't do 5-4. I did 6-3.
You still would have won.
I still would have won.
All right.
And also Shannon hated both of us. So, like, I think she, like, at that point was like, I hate Marissa less. Like, I don't know.
A lot of people said that, kind of, like when they voted for you.
I know, they're like, all right, I guess we'll vote for her.
When I was watching And
I love that you were watching the live feeds, though.
Oh, I watched everything.
Because I feel like a lot of
times...
times...
I was hate watching, I like to admit. I was like, that should have been me in the house as
totally.
well. And,
no, yeah.
and, you know, I understand why they picked Ross, because he's a super fan. They picked you because you're a super fan. They picked Marissa because she's a super fan. They picked... who was the other super fan in the house? Was it just those?
Shannon.
Shannon, right.
Shannon was.
And then, like...
who knows it? Like, and then the rest you don't know if they were or they weren't. Like, no one really admitted.
And then when they cast Ross, they're not going to put me in, too, because, we already got the gay. We're not
I was surprised they put me and Ross together, to be honest. Like, I felt like we were the same. Excuse me. We ended up not playing the same, but I thought, they put Ross in fear that I was going to get voted out. Because I was like, I knew I was doing it since November. Like, I knew November 1st that I was doing this show. Like, I've known forever. So, like, and Ross found out like 3 weeks ago, or 3 weeks before he went in. So I was
Wait, how did that happen? Did they just reach out to you? Did you reach out to them?
They reached out to me.
You didn't reach out to them?
No.
You see, maybe that was my mistake. I reached out to them. Maybe I should have played hard to get. I don't know.
I think I have an old relationship with Julie, obviously from doing the talk. And she knew I was a super fan. And I think, like, if nothing else, Julie's like, Marissa will go in, make good TV, we can produce her if we have to. I think, like, honestly, like, I feel like that's why I got on the show. But, like, I've had many conversations. And in 2004, this is how big of a super fan I am. In 2004, Andy...
That's a long time ago.
Okay, 2004, I was already such a fan that when I was doing Hairspray at the Pantages, my friend John Hill, do you know John Hill?
Yeah, of course.
John Hill and I, of course, went backstage and got to go through the walls because Andy Cohen was friends with Julie Chen. So Andy Cohen was friends with John Hill.
They dated.
Yeah, they dated. Okay, that's right. I guess everybody. Yeah,
we're spilling the tea.
So John Hill got Andy Cohen to get Julie Chen to get us to go backstage, and then so in 2004 I was already a super fan, and Julie knew that. So I think that's why they reached out to me.
Well, you and Ross ended up having the showmance of the season.
I know.
You were dating in there.
Well, it all really started. I mean, we're gonna continue dating. We're going steady now. Honestly, like I really liked Ross, but I think like when Omarosa Truth was like, a girl's gonna win, and like Ross was sitting there, it like broke my heart so much that I was like, first of all, he's not a girl. He doesn't identify as a girl. He's one of our, like, I don't care what sex wins. Like, that, and I got so, defensive for Ross that it, like, forced me truly to be like, no, I have your back. Like, these girls are turning on you. We got to figure out how to fix this. Because I saw on the Women's Alliance, it was like, that
didn't last very long.
Oh my God, it was the worst alliance ever. You know how I knew it wasn't going to work?
How?
You didn't see this because in the live feeds hadn't started for that first week. It took 4 days to name the Women's Alliance because one girl would say, we had the worst names. And I would be like, that's great. And I'd walk out and then I'd come back. They'd have 8 more names. I'm like, okay, any of these names, why are we fighting? We were fighting over the names before it started. And I said, this will never work. We can't even pick a name. This is never going to work. So I knew right away that wasn't going to work. And also they were being like really discriminating against Ross. And like he was one of our numbers. So I was like, that's not cool. So I kind of was like, I'm out.
It was beautiful to see, though. Like, you had each other from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And in an experience like that, you need one person
you need one
who can not just be your friend, keep you sane.
Yes. And when things would get boring, because you're like crushing
nonstop.
boredom.
You don't have your phone.
You have nothing.
You can't write down anything.
Like
can't
nothing.
Do anything.
You're just so bored that we would go, like, it would be like Pop TV would be on, and you were like, or like whatever live feeds, and I'd be like, we have to go do something fun because this is like, we're the most boring show on TV. So the minute we would start just trying to come up with fun things to do, just to entertain ourselves. That's my dog. Oh, so, but like we would try to come up with things. So it was like fun to have like a partner in that.
Let's talk Omarosa. After the show was over, I saw you and her at your house. She came over. She
said we're going to have a cookout. And the cookout was like in her schedule, and the car showed up, and there she was, and people were running out getting food.
During your time together in the house, though, It was not that chummy.
No.
I remember vividly I think it was on a live feed, because I watched everything. You're like, you were convinced Ross was going to win. And you're like, you can't take Omarosa to the final 2. That's against your spirit to win against her. Can you elaborate on that?
I just meant, like, I can't really elaborate on that. But I kind of was just like, that goes against everything that we've been believing.
But just like a super fan, couldn't you appreciate the game she was playing too?
Oh, she played a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Omarosa did have what was it? What Omarosa had against her was that we all knew everything about her, and it was very.
Or what you thought you knew.
Or we thought we knew about her, or what we think we know about her. We don't really know anything about her because none of it's real. So, I think it was one of those things. Like it was more like, I would rather go to the 4 with these 4. I'd rather go to the finals with these 4, and then I don't care who wins. And I know that sounds horrible, and she ended up being a very kind person, but I didn't want her to win the show.
That's fine.
I just didn't want her to win, and it had nothing to do with the game, and that was totally personal.
She gave great TV,
though. There was times where Ross and I would say to each other, like, well, we can't let her go yet because we want people to watch the show.
That's smart.
And I kept saying, I go, let's not vote her out yet because... Like, you know how many people are watching this show. Like, because she's on it.
She gave great TV. She gave great sound bites.
Yeah.
She gave great walk. She gave great stare downs.
How about I didn't even know that I vocally went, oh my God. I didn't know that came, like, I thought that when they said, and Omarosa, I went, oh my God. And, like, everyone showed me the gif when I came out that I was like, oh my God. Like, I couldn't hold it in. I was terrified. Terrified. Because I've seen.
Because you thought it would be drama nonstop.
Yeah, and it wasn't. Like, I think they only edited the drama. Like, if you watch the live feeds, you saw she wasn't that much drama.
Well, let's talk about all the housemates then. When you saw Brandy there, did you think it was going to be drama as well? Did you know anybody in the house beforehand except for Shannon? Shannon was the only one.
Yeah, and I kind of knew her.
Yeah.
Like I knew her because we did Dancing with the Stars together.
But you weren't like friends.
No, and I haven't seen her in 10 years. Like Dancing with the Stars was 10 years ago. I know there's people that are like they were friends. I'm like no. We weren't friends in Dancing with the Stars. Like, we're closer friends now than we have ever been, you know?
You've been in touch with her?
No. But only because I'm going to...
She's still bitter?
Her charity is the charity that I'm actually donating some money to, is Animal Avengers, because I was like, she didn't need to vote for me, and I could see that she was rallying for me, so not that that's why you give to the charity, but she talked about it a lot. It meant a lot to her, so that is one thing I am doing. No, she hasn't reached out to me, and I'm like, oh, Shannon hates me. Sorry, Shannon. So, Brandy, I was just like, oh, no, there's a housewife. Like, I didn't think anything of it. Like, I was just like, I know that as it happened in the show, sometimes when people are aggressive towards me or have things that go on, and
they drink,
and I'm a pretty exactly. If she drank a glass of wine and would just like tell everybody about our alliances. Like there was nights where we were all like, everybody take a glass of wine, everybody take one, because we were like, just don't say anything tonight, please.
One of my other all-time favorite moments from this season was the wink. The Omarosa wink.
Okay, and Brandy like called me out on that wink, and I didn't even see the wink hardly. I was like, she was having an asthma attack. Like they edited that so down. Like Omarosa was having an asthma attack, and then I said, "You're gonna be okay." And then she winked at me, and then I winked back like, "You're okay." And then Brandy like 5 minutes later was like, "You're being sketchy." She like winked at you. I'm like, she winked at me. I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And now I see it in the show. She winked at me.
How did Mark make it all the way to the final 4?
Mark.
He seems like a lovely guy, but boring.
Oh my God.
And
Mark,
he didn't win
he didn't have to do
a single thing. He didn't
have
like
to do
some
anything.
people are like, you coasted. You won the most important
and like
game.
And the crazy thing is that I think that this is the truth. I mean, between us, and I haven't said this yet. My game was so good, people did not see my game. Like, that's why I won. Like, my game was
had all
so
the blood on his hands,
good. I was like, I'm the
blood.
queen, protect the queen. Like, he literally was getting shot wherever, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I mean, but I also kept my relationships very honest and very true. Like, I even told Omarosa, I was like, you're not going home, don't pack. Like, I was very honest with people, even after I said to her, bye-bye. Like, I said that one night. I was like, oh, God, because I thought she was gone, and she wasn't. But, like, and, like, the only person that I didn't, like, have, like, a real... Like, I was really close with Chuck, and I was devastated when that house flipped. I was like, but I had no option. I had to go with it. Like, but when that house flipped, it was, like, devastating to me because I loved Chuck, and I was like...
Well, somebody had to go home first.
No, somebody had to go home first. I mean, thank God it wasn't me. But, like, it should have been Meta. Like, and it made me... Like, the only argument I had, like, they didn't show it on the show, was I was the one who was like, Meta wants to go home. Let's let him go home. And everyone's like... No, Meta wants to go home. We keep him here. You imagine how much he's going to want to go home next week. And I was like, yeah, but if he wants to go home, you guys, like, let him go home. That was so
frustrating because I was like, there were people that wanted to be in that house and you're wanting to quit.
I know, but it was really good for him, though, because it forced him to stay.
Let me explain something to people watching. Here's why he didn't quit, okay? If he quit, he wouldn't have gotten paid.
Right.
And not that he needs the money.
He doesn't.
But after you've subjected yourself to that and been through the experience, the torture, I was gonna call it.
No, it is.
Like, you want to get paid.
Yeah. And
you're
also,
like, I didn't do all this for nothing.
Also, we kept saying to him, like, I had many talks with him, and I was like, you got to go out with class. Like, don't worry about this job. Worry about the next job. Like, if you want to be in this business, if you want to be an entertainer, which he does, I kept saying to him, it's not about Big Brother. It's about finishing Big Brother so that the next job comes to you. And I kept saying, you got to leave with class. And then, like, when he would get frustrated, I'm like, no, you can't say that because you have to, like, let's just be classy right now. Like, you just got to, like, keep it reined in. And when you leave, you go out in style. You don't go out literally through, he escaped, like, 3 times. Like, he would go through the emergency. We would be like, oh, my God, I hope Meta comes through with Taco Bell next week. Like, we were literally, like, every time we walked out of the room, we were like, get me a double-double.
Once in the feeds.
Yeah.
People watch the feeds. I mean,
my God.
I couldn't watch the feeds 24/7, but I watched a ton of them.
Then you're not a true fan. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I watched a lot, especially because there was a lot of downtime too. Where they'd go to like the puppy cam.
Because we were like locked in rooms for 7 hours. I would be like in a room like the size of this little space by myself for 7 hours, and I would have like a panic attack and just fall asleep.
They never did that in the UK show.
It's the worst.
But they did different things in the UK show. Like, I had to share a bed.
Yeah, no.
You guys got your own bed.
You
guys also got cush food.
I didn't eat any of it. I lived on Doritos, cream cheese, and Diet Coke. Like, it was a disaster. Like, everyone's like, oh my God, I'm losing weight. I'm like, oh, I'm not. And then like for that last challenge where we like climbed the wall, I walk in to do the challenge, and there's a scale, and I was like, is the challenge, am I going to get on the scale? Because I quit now. I don't want to do that. And they're like, no one's going to see it. Just as I was like, I don't want to get on a scale. Like, I was literally like, why? But they had to for like the pulling mechanism.
Yeah. That was a fun one to watch.
That was awesome. And I got that one all right because that's my memorizing.
Who was it? Like, Omarosa did surprisingly bad on that,
because
right?
she's scared of heights. She didn't talk about it. She came back into the living room. She's like, I did horrible. And I literally looked at her and I'm like, she's lying. I was like, bullshit. I call bullshit. And then, like, of course,
she did. Wow,
I didn't know she didn't read it. Yeah, she just did it. She wanted to finish and hope she got one right. She didn't even read them. She just is terrified of heights.
Wow. Yeah. I love we're learning so much about everything here. All right. One of the things that surprised me the most as well was for the jury, Brandy voted for Ross.
Yeah. Well,
even though Ross betrayed her and they were friends before.
Yeah. And I was literally trying to save Brandy the entire show. Like, I worked double time trying to save Brandy and trying to save Ari because I was like, because I knew James and Mark wouldn't, like, they were playing the game proper. Like, they were like,
They were conniving.
Always
they were talking in the gym about what they would do.
God, they did the game exactly the way it's really played. So I knew they'd go home and wouldn't be mad. But I knew like Brandy and Ari, figured we could like keep Brandy and Ari. Like, I really wanted to save Ari. Ari was like
she's just so lovely.
Oh my God, Ari's my favorite person from the house. I mean, I love Ross, but Ari's like, I love my Ari baby. I love her so much.
What surprised you the most? No, you're a super fan.
Right.
You imagine what it would be like. You're in it. What surprised you the most about the experience?
Well, our experience, we didn't see the sun. Like, we didn't have sunlight for 28 days.
Really?
Like, yes.
You had an outdoor area with the jacuzzi.
We weren't allowed in the outdoor area until 10 o'clock at night because they were, oh my God, I look so crazy in this video.
I didn't know
because they were doing they were working on the set, because we had such a fast turnover, they were constantly building the next challenge. So wow. they would work until 9:45. It was like, and then we were allowed outside at 10 o'clock, and everyone went to bed by 12. So it was like, or 2, you know what I mean? So we would have, and that didn't even have fresh air. It had like a patch. That's why you'd always see us all like in the corner, because that was like the one bit of sky. So we never saw the sunlight.
That's tough. And so I did love to go outside a lot in the UK.
We didn't go outside. Small. We didn't go outside, and they took away. And then in the last 5 days, they said, "This is your last night. You're not going outside." And we had 5 nights of. We were in those 3 little spaces. And that's when we all started getting crazy. But they might have done it too on purpose. Like, if you think about it, like, it's such a condensed version. So not going outside actually made the experience even more stressful.
Yeah.
So like as much as I'm like, they need to fix that for next time, I'm like, that might be part of heightening the experience.
And something that Ari told me yesterday when we finished our video is like, they didn't even give you guys booze every night.
No.
They were so stingy.
We had to ask for it.
Why would they not give more booze?
I don't know.
They loved getting us liquored up in BB UK.
I think that because it's a CBS show, they don't want us like drunk, and only Brandy drank, and like Ross would have like 1 glass of wine, and same with the guys would drink like a beer. So like sometimes I would have to go
wine.
Yeah, like I would have to go in and be like, "Hey, I'd like to I'm asking for some white wine." And they're like, "You're not allowed to make requests for other people." I'm like, "I want white wine." And they're like, "Okay, Marissa." And they would always send me in to like ask for things because like I didn't ask for anything ever because like I was like, "I'm fine with whatever the food is. Like I don't care." And then there was like Shannon had her like vegan da da da. She was everybody had a dietary thing except for me. I was like, I don't know. I'll eat it. I don't care.
Next season, if they do it again, which it seems like they will.
How could you not?
They could do more with the food. Because, like, for us in the UK, you had to compete.
To get food.
To get food. And then not only that, after you competed, luckily we won all of our competitions.
Right.
But then you have to, like, agree as an entire house with a budget, all the things you're going to order. And trying to get all these people to agree on what to order.
That's a cool idea.
It's
psychotic. No, this was like we were throwing shit out because they had bought so much food. Like everybody had such crazy diets. Like, but again, I like would panic because I don't cook or do anything. So after Keisha left, I didn't have a hot meal until I came home because Keisha like cooked such good food.
It's such a weird game because, well, do you think? I wish Julie Chen were here and Allison, the executive producer, so I could ask them this. Do you think that for a second season of this version, maybe because it's not the true celebrity, not the true Big Brother, maybe they could experiment with it more? Do you think that they should do it where the viewers vote?
I think there should have been a viewer more than just on that veto. I spent the whole game, I'm sure you heard in the live feeds, like predicting what was next. Like every time I tried to like be cool and act like I was like, oh, this is the bowling competition. And I walked out, I was like, oh, fuck, I was right. This was the bowling competition. Like I would constantly know what it was from the costumes. Like constantly, I was like, oh, this is where we're going to be spinning and throwing a bowling ball. That's why I did well in it because I had seen it so many times. I knew just throw the balls. Don't try to like actually aim for a pin. But I think of viewing, like, did you watch the OTT? Version. Okay, there was a over the top.
I mean, I know.
Okay, the over the top.
Yeah,
I watched that too. I mean, that's how much.
Joey was one. There was like a gig.
Yeah,
and that's the season.
The Malanta kid came back.
And that's the season when Julie announced Donald Trump won.
Yeah, and they thought they were kidding. We still sort of think that. So. Okay, so. They would do the two nominees, and then America put a nominee up on the block. And I was so glad they didn't do that because whoever America put up on the block, they were like, send that person home. Because they were like, clearly America doesn't love them. But it was a very telling thing. Like, I think that would really mess with celebrities' heads to be the one that America put up.
Well, because
I thought for the end vote, there was going to be an American component.
Well, because the thing is like, listen, I'm not going to start censoring myself. I never have.
Yeah.
Well, I love just like the talking.
Yeah.
But this is one of the reasons why I didn't love watching Ross. All he wanted to do was just talk game. All game.
Right.
Almost all the time.
Right.
Like it's exhausting. I'm like, you're talking so much game. Talk about something else for a little bit.
Right. But he did, in fairness, being with him, like there were days that went by that we didn't talk about game. Like,
all right.
And like that whole like
the feeling.
I know,
but
but like in fairness, I will say like I had my birthday in there, and like there would be and it was my best birthday I've had ever. Like ever. Like I was like, oh, this is my favorite birthday ever. Like we did so many fun things, and like and there was so many times where we would wake up and be like, no one talked game today. And no one did. And then people would be like, well, remember yesterday when we said we wouldn't talk game? Like, I need to talk about these more things.
Well, one of the other things I would have loved, I actually love drama. I would have loved more fighting. But you can't do that with celebrities. You can't. If it's like you're going to then vote each other at the end.
Yeah, but people seem to keep forgetting that. Like, people just kept forgetting that. That, like I actually think Brandy made the vote for Shannon so that if she made it to the end, Shannon would vote for her, right? So there were moments like that people were thinking ahead. But, like, shockingly, like, even when I watch back, I'm like, I'm just started. I'm on episode 3. I'm like, God, people really were, like, talking about people more than I had expected.
In the diary room.
In the diary room, or even, like, when nobody would, like, when it was just, like, you know, Ross and somebody else, or not even Ross, but, like, I heard a lot of times, like, stuff about me, but it was always that I was, like, dumb, and, like, I didn't know what was going on, and, like, she has no plan, and I'm literally like, oh my God, the one thing I had lied, I didn't tell anybody, my one big lie in the game was that I didn't take the bag, and, like, if that was, like, it was supposed to just be me. I was supposed to take the bag. I said, Shannon, I got you, I'm going to take the bag, and then I was like, wait a second, why would I take the bag? I don't want to, like, that's way too much pressure right off the bat. So then I convinced everybody in the house, well, we need to open up we need the odds. So we all need to take the bag. Every girl needs to take the bag. And then I went in and I was like, I ain't taking the bag. Like, so like yesterday I told Ross I didn't take the bag and he was so mad. He was like, good for you. I was like I was playing in a different game. And people didn't. I sometimes thought, I was like, the producers don't even know what I'm doing. Like, because I was like so like, just like just staying out of if you keep someone higher than you in your alliance as a bigger target, you just have to hang in the targets. There's bigger targets in every one of my alliance. I had Brandy and Ari in my one alliance. I had, like, what's his name? James and Mark. James is the bigger. So everywhere I went, somebody was a bigger target. Until Marissa was like, Marissa's the biggest target in the house. Like, she, like, no one can beat her. And I was like,
well, I don't know. It depends. Like, if it would have been you and Ari at the end, just the two of you.
Ari would have won. Oh, Ari would have beat anybody. If Ari had won that
so
last
I don't think if Marissa was that accurate. It always just depends on the last two.
Ari would have beaten anyone.
I think so, too.
No, I know so.
Just because
Ari
she's
was
so
awesome.
likable.
But
and if I was in the jury, I'd be like, she
win.
It's good karma.
She deserves it.
Yeah.
She deserves her crown.
And her sick dad.
That you didn't give her.
I know.
You didn't give it to her. It's his fault.
Well, I got her wrong. And that was the great thing about watching this. Is like I got to see the real her.
Yeah.
And she was
people
lovely.
got to see the real May.
I know. It's such a fun person. What's it been like now watching yourself and watching the show back?
It's surreal. It's so surreal. But there's, parts of my body I didn't know existed. But I got over that fast. But I'm like, oh God, like that's pretty intense. But it's interesting because it's also like, look, the editors in the CBS version, the editors really had a good time with me. Like, every time they were like, Marissa doesn't know what's going on, they'd cut to me being like, blah, 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 blah. Like, literally, I was like, these editors, like, or I'd be like mid-sentence and then they'd cut to me falling. I'm like, the editing on this show
it's a sitcom.
It's the best show on TV.
It's a sitcom.
Yeah.
Now that the show's over, you said you would not go back into the house.
But now I might.
You might? Okay.
Now, like, now I'm 3 days out and honestly doing, like, homework with my kid. It's, like, so boring.
Would you do other reality? Like, if the Housewives wants you to join.
Oh, my God. Didn't you see my housewife audition?
I missed opening. That one.
Oh, you can find it online. I've seen people put it up on YouTube. It literally was like, life's too short, put cream cheese on it. It was like, I'm not kidding. We were coming up taglines.
The Housewives of the Valley. Toluca Lake.
Life's too short, put cream cheese on it. That was like one of mine.
Who would you love to see on a second season of Celebrity Big Brother besides me?
Okay,
besides me.
You need to be on it for sure.
Well, I honestly don't even think it's going to happen. I think they're going to go for Lance Bass. Like a boring safe gay. And I won't do it, but whatever.
You can have more than one gay.
Yeah, you should.
I mean, like,
and actually, if they had me and Lance Bass, that would be drama.
No, it'd be super
because
drama.
I outed him back in the day, and he still is bitter about that, even though I don't out people anymore.
Right.
I don't out people anymore. I've changed.
But he's still bitter.
And it would have been great to have me on this season, too, because of me and the whole Ari thing.
I know.
Basically, any season they put me on would be great, because I have history with everybody.
Yeah, I, like, brought you up because I said, because people were like, did you tell anybody? Did you tell anybody? And I was like, I didn't tell anybody, but I did write a letter to my friend.
And then Omarosa guessed.
Because I said my friend, and because I felt so bad, and Omarosa was like, Perez, and I was like, yes, that's who I sent I sent one letter out, and it was to you, saying, like, I'm doing this. I gave it to Judah, my husband, to send to you the minute that they announced it. Because I was, like, felt so bad that I hadn't told you.
No, don't feel bad. I did the same when I did the UK
show. I know, but, like, I don't know. I just felt bad. And I knew how much you wanted to do it. And then I was like, and every time we talked about it, I was kind of hoping you'd be like, give me a hint that you were doing it.
I know.
Because I was like, oh my God.
I would have told.
You would have told me, but like I kept trying to figure out if you were doing it, and then once I was like, I was
straight. I was like, they passed on me.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see on it?
Lucy Lawless, my girl Lucy Lawless. Did you mention Xena in there? She's such a badass, and she's so crazy. And
Does she
I
have
love
a big
her so much.
personality?
Yes. She's crazy good.
That's one of my issues that I had. It's like they cast like. Why Chuck Liddell? Like, does he have why? Like, I guess to fill a type.
I'm gonna tell you something. He would have, if he stayed on longer, he would have been really awesome. He's a really cool dude.
Lucy Lawless. Who else would you like to see do it?
Oh my God, like Melissa Joan Hart. I don't know why, but like I just thought of her. She wouldn't do well, though. She'd get real bossy. But I think she'd be awesome. But she's, like, directing now, so I could just imagine.
Who would I like to see?
Who would you like to see?
Me. Okay, me.
You.
Spencer and Heidi.
Oh.
No?
No.
No, why
like,
not?
I think people, here's the truth. I think people that aren't known for reality are more fun in the house. Like, Brandy was less fun. I love Brandy, and, like, I actually am going to remain friends with Brandy. But, like, it was more... She wasn't the most fun to watch because she knows
But I disagree. Omarosa's known for reality, and she gave me what I wanted.
Yes, but that's Omarosa.
Spencer and Heidi, or New York, Tiffany Pollard.
Oh, that's what I thought was going in.
She'd be fabulous.
I did research on her before I went because I thought she was going in.
I love all that. What else did you do to prepare?
I did research on anyone that got rumored. I would read everything about them, like the bounty dog, the bounty hunter. I read about, but he was rumored first, and then I read all about him, and then I knew all about his wife, so I could be like, oh, I also had cancer. Your wife just had cancer. Like I learned everything because that's my only game. Is like
you're so
social,
smart.
like social.
Anybody who doubted Marissa, I hope you all watch this video and share it and let everybody know to watch this video. We learned so much. Anything we haven't discussed that you want to talk about? You did Ross's podcast earlier.
I did that today.
You talked a bunch there.
Yeah.
Anything you didn't talk there about or here? Anything that's on your brain?
I don't even know. Oh, one thing I will say, that there was this like misconception, and you know me enough to know the misconception where I was like, I don't need the money. It was never about not needing the money. It was more about I wasn't going to spend $250,000 on breaking my friendships. But like Brandy was like, she doesn't need the money. I was like, wait, I just said I didn't need it. And in the beginning, that was sort of like my game, like being like, oh, I don't need the money. Like, I'm not here to win. Because truthfully, I just wanted the Final Four. Like, that was actually the truth. I was like, I want the Final Four.
You were campaigning for Ross at the very end.
Okay, the truth about that is I had practiced. If he had taken me to the Final Two, I was going to explain why he should win. But then halfway through that, I was like, wait, I took him. Wait, and I could hear in the jury that they were like a little not happy with the way we played. So I was like, oh wait, I can still win by just being honest. And like, so
you were still kind of campaigning for the finale.
I was. That's what I thought was going to happen. I never thought I'd win.
I was watching the show for the finale, and we don't unfortunately get the live East Coast feed.
Right.
So I was watching in the West Coast feed, and I had stayed off social media for hours because I did not.
And that's big for you.
I know. I did not want it to get spoiled. And then at the beginning of 8 p.m., I see Ross trending. I'm like, fuck, I ruined it. So it was actually the best surprise.
Right, because then you had no idea.
Because I had no idea. I'm like, Ross is trending. He won. Ah! Anyways, at the final moment when you're going to make your decision, I for sure, she's going to pick Mark. Mark would be the easiest person for you to beat.
Like, you could come in on day 27 and beat Mark. Yeah. Sorry, Mark. I love you, Mark. You're a lovely man.
Why did you not pick Mark?
Because that wasn't what my game was. My game was a social game. You can't play a fair, honest social game. That was my game. My game was I'm honest, I'm true, I'm not lying to anybody, I'm protecting my friends. You can't play that and then turn on your alliance at the end. Because then that's not your game. But
you and Ross never had a Final Two.
But I wouldn't have gotten to I wouldn't have gotten to the Final Four if he didn't turn on Brandy, if he didn't turn on James. Like, even though I know it was for him as well, it wasn't just for me. I know that. I'm not a fool. But, like, that all got me where I was. And also, like, our friendship got me where I was because he kept me sane in that house. Like, I laughed harder with him, honestly, than I've laughed in years. Like, and you're so depleted of joy.
I know, it reminded me of my relationship with Nadia on Celebrity Big Brother UK. You were Ross's Nadia. And
you need a Nadia.
I know.
Or else you'll go crazy. So to turn on him at the end didn't feel right. And that wouldn't have been, I might have not have won to Mark. Because people would have been like, well, you played this like weird game and now you're like, no one understood my game and I think they understood it. I think everything made sense once I picked Ross. Because they're like, right, she actually cares about what I cared about. And I also was like, even though my son screamed in the audience supposedly when I picked Ross, he went, no! Like, the audience, like, grumbled. Julie Chen said she was trying to, like, make eye contact in the camera to me, like, what are you doing? You have a husband, you have a child, like, why are you throwing away $250,000? And but I knew, like, at the end of the day, like, I had a true friendship with Ross. I had a true friendship with the people that I kept my truth to. So I felt like that was my game.
What was the debriefing your husband and son gave you? Like, this is what you need to know, either about the house and the show or about what you've missed over the last month.
Oh no, all they wanted to talk about was Ross wasn't going to take you. He was getting real shady there at the end. Like, everybody was like really scared. And I was like, no, I know. Like,
but you won. I won.
But I was like, who cares? Like, and then he won fan favorite, so he felt like he won. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was fine. But like, everybody was like, just so you know, you shouldn't feel so sorry. You shouldn't feel so bad. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay.
It's just a game show. It's TV.
And it was fun.
And it was great TV.
It was fun.
I had never watched before.
No.
I'd never watched before.
You never watched Big Brother?
No.
So why were you petitioning to be on it?
Because I fucking wanted to be on it. Duh.
No! Now you have to watch
Well, because I wanted to be on. It's great exposure.
Yeah, okay. Well, there
and
you go.
money.
That is why you weren't on it. So now you have to go back and watch every episode of every season.
No, fuck that. That's what I did for Amazing Race when I got that. I told you that?
No, you didn't tell me that.
I didn't tell you that?
No.
CBS fucked me over last year.
When they did that YouTube thing?
No, that was a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Last year.
Oh, no.
They told me I was going to be on Amazing Race. And I got so excited. And they said, okay, this is what you have to do to be on it. They sequestered me and my partner for 3.5 days at an airport, at the airport, Sheraton or whatever.
Yeah.
They fucking made me take all sorts of tests, psychological tests, meet with their therapist, take blood work. The doctor met with me. They gave me vaccines and everything.
No.
They gave me a contract. And then at the last minute, they took it away and said, it's not happening. So I'm not going to watch Big Brother. I'm not even going to watch the second celebrity season if I'm not on it. If I'm on the second season, then I'll watch every season after that. But I'm not going to invest my time anymore.
Okay.
Like, part of the reason I watched this season is because I felt like, well, you're my friend and I was rooting for you. And also I was like imagining myself there and I was taking notes and pointers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm honest. I'm not gonna lie. The casting director was a different one for Amazing Race. Is like, so when they ask you why you want to be on the show, it's like, because I want to be on TV. It's like, you can't say that.
You can't say that.
Well, fuck it. I like to be honest.
I'm honest. Well, I'm honest too, so I get it.
Well, and also, I think.
Yeah, you know.
I think I could win. Duh.
Yeah.
I think it would be good TV. I think it would be fun. I think.
Yeah, you would totally be a big target, so you would stay a while.
Well, and I
would keep you around. I would
know how to maneuver.
I would keep you around because just like I did with Ross, I would be like, oh, here, okay.
I know I would be like Omarosa. People would want to be getting me out, like.
Yeah, but then they stay.
Beginning.
But then those people stay because you're like, you keep around big targets. You get out the most physical targets. And I think like,
I'm older.
But I also know that, but you're in very good shape.
I'll gain weight before I do.
No. But like, I know you're in very good shape, but I don't know if like everyone knows your history, right? Yeah, so like, I know how strong you are. So people would think, oh, I could probably beat him in challenges, right? And then they would keep you around because you're probably gonna say everything you think, like you do. But like how Omarosa, like, we kept her around because we know she was good TV, but also like.
And she kept talking about the White House.
Oh, she
that was
leaked
good
like
stuff.
A balloon. Like, ooh.
Somebody else was saying that she would speak even more, like during moments when they couldn't air that footage. When were those moments?
Like they'll play music really loud because they don't want you to hear what's going on outside.
I see.
And then I would like rip my mic off and ask her questions, and then I would be like, okay, and then I put my mic back on, and they'd be like, yeah. I mean, there's so many things you want to know, right? But then you're also like, I also don't want to know things because I don't want there to be like someone at my house being like.
She was great TV. You're great TV. Ari was great TV. Ross was great TV as well. I'm complimenting Ross. I didn't love how he played his game, but he was great TV. I love Ross. Okay, don't misconstrue it.
I love Ross.
We've been talking for like 43 minutes now.
Oh my God.
Thank you for watching. I love you.
I'm sorry that we're in my son's bedroom and my dog's barking.
If you enjoyed we spilled so much tea, ladies and gentlemen. Let everybody know, all the Big Brother fans, to watch this video, get the word out. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, follow, subscribe, comment, share, and follow Marissa across social media as well. And have a great day. Bye.
Bye.